Sun pulse engine is an engine which was specially designed to fulfill the needs in a village in third world Africa, Asia, whatever. Sun pulse in the village stands beside the power envelope, the greenhouse, the storage, and beside the well, because what we need is a heat source, which is provided by the sun, and we need a cold source. There you need a power of 1 kilowatt. This power should be provided by the heat of the sun and through the hot oil, which is stored 24 hours. It's a big challenge to produce an engine which runs already at temperatures of 150 degrees centigrade with good efficiency. If you want to have a highly efficient engine, it must move slowly. Therefore, we called it sun pulse, because the pulse of our heart is at the beat of once per second, approximately. And this gives us a long lifetime. Takes the heat of the oil, transmits it to the air. The air is expanding by heat and is acting on a power piston, which is working on a crank engine and which is translating this expansion movement into a rotational movement. Mounted on the flywheel, we have a generator in case we want to have electricity, and we produce directly electricity. And again, the charm is this can be done not only when the sun shines, it can be done nighttime out of the hot oil storage. And this gives a chance of autonomy.
In his laboratory in Germany, Jürgen Kleinvector shows his most advanced developments in solar technology for the future.
This is the second generation of the sun ray optics and the hot photon receivers. We can produce with this specially designed photonic traps. This is a real trap. Photons are flowing in and re-radiation in the infrared cannot escape. This is a very special design. So we can easily go to 500 degrees centigrade and higher. Basically, it's producing the same quality, hot vegetable oil, which then is stored, but it is producing about twice as efficient. Meaning if we bring those optics in the greenhouse and next generation of greenhouse, we produce just double amount of hot oil as we do today. House-in-a-house concept is taking advantage of the same principle as the lenses in the power greenhouse. It means that we have an outer shelter against wind forces, rain forces, and then we can build inside with very inexpensive materials who don't have to resist wind forces and rain, a house. Something even much more exciting. For example, this material here, 99% sand, 1% binding powder, much stronger than concrete. So you can build very thin layers, double walls, and baken together in a mold which is heated by the hot oil heat from a hot photon receiver. It has about 10 times the bending strength of concrete. So we are creating inside a first envelope, a first climate, which of course already causes warmer air when it's cold outside, but then a second climate inside which is completely sheltered. And if we are then adding the lenses in the greenhouse, we are extracting the surplus heat and we are storing this heat so that if it becomes too cold in the inner house, in the house-in-house, we simply reuse this. So we can make completely zero energy houses, self-sustainable. Sure. Water is on our Earth the most precious prerequisite of life. if you observe our globe, water vapor is the main ingredient in energy and in the natural closed cycles of the weather machine, is even creating the basic forces of tornadoes and hurricanes, but is unmastered by humans. It's destroying. But if you look at the energy within a hurricane, that's tremendous. So a dream is now if we bring some controllability to the molecules. We can influence diffuse cloud of water vapor. And the key to it is that we have found here methods by plasma ionization of this mixture of water and water vapor, water dust, to make the molecules controllable in specific fields. That means we can produce water on the spot we want, cooling on the spot we want, heating on the spot we want, wind or not wind, and so on. You really have a tool of a future environmental technology in your hand.
Due to the devastation that the present way of energy production and supply is causing on Earth, it becomes increasingly urgent that political figures and business leaders assume responsibility for finding alternatives and solutions.
Energy consumption is everywhere where people work and live. And this creates dependencies, existential dependencies, because nothing can happen, nothing can move without energy. We can never come to a renewable energy system if we leave this strategic development to the existing energy system and power companies. These power companies will become, there is no other way, the losers of this development. But we have many winners.
We are at a pivot point of human history. We have to develop massively solar technologies. And America is going to play a major role for the simple fact that America at the moment is the biggest polluter. But entrepreneurs like our partners, the Arringtons in America, bear in themselves a big chance to change this. And consequently, they have built up in Greencastle a center of excellence. And this in a very close connectionship with the center of all the activities, which is based here in Tamera. Technology is never a self-purpose. Technology is for people. And people are here to enjoy life for living. And there are less and less possibilities on this planet. So the development of the real social models in which we can bring in this technology, this is the thing to do. Tamera is the case model in the world for us solar people to cooperate with.